Greetings, one and all. Hello. Hope you've got your umbrellas because it's raining here.
Which is really out of character for Arizona.
Yeah, that doesn't usually happen.
I know, which I'm actually still in Arizona. Normally I go live from San Diego and Ned goes live from Scottsdale, but I'm here visiting my mom.
Yay.
Yeah.
And now it's starting to be sunny. Well, okay, put away your umbrellas. Never mind.
Yeah, this
Sorry.
is still Arizona, so it's only going to last 10 minutes.
Welcome everybody to Crimes Against Folk. We got a cool one for you today.
Oh, yeah.
We are interviewing our very dear friend Adam Smith.
Yay.
Who is a Phoenix-based singer-songwriter with voice of an angel.
Oh, yeah. He has such an amazing voice, and he's also an incredible songwriter, too, and has a really interesting story and perspective on life. So we're really excited to have him on the show today to kind of talk about music a little bit.
Yeah. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
So stick around, and we're going to interview him right off the top. But first... we want to thank our sponsor, EV. That is Electro Voice. They sponsor this show and gave us these lovely RE20 black microphones. You can go to electrovoice.com and find out more about those. I think I was remarking to somebody we were just recording something that we'll have up very soon with another person.
Yeah.
I don't
How cryptic.
And I was noting that the RE20 black is pretty new, because normally the RE20 is kind of an olive color, and I think they wanted to release one that's a black version because I think people were like, "Oh, I'd buy your microphone, but only if it matches all my decor. I need a black one." So.
Yeah, I mean, I guess black's kind of a popular studio color. I like the olive too, though. I think it's like you don't really see microphones in that color, but yeah, so you can get them in either color. It's the same mic, and they're absolutely incredible microphones. If you're looking to start off or upgrade your studio or start out a studio, definitely start here with the RE20, whether it's the olive or the black, because they're just incredible mics for both podcasts and recording so many different things. I've recorded my acoustic guitar, my voice, I've recorded my organ with it, and it all sounds incredible.
Yep. Yeah, these are fantastic. So yeah, go to electrovoice.com if you would like to learn more about all of the things that Electro Voice can do for you. Thanks also to our lovely patrons, including our producer patrons, Alice Williams. We really appreciate your support. We had a really cool pre-show today.
Yeah, because the thunder and the lightning and the rain and the hail, they were going pretty strong at that point. So if you missed it, check out the replay on Patreon. Yeah,
so if you want to see more pre-shows where we play music or all the bonus stuff, we've got just a raft of bonus stuff up now. Bonus stories, behind the scenes stuff on our music, extra tips and tricks, all that stuff. You can go to patreon.com/crimesagainstfolk and sign up there. It's only $5 a month to get a bunch of stuff. There are higher tiers if you want, but $5 a month gets you a bunch of cool stuff.
Yeah, including a weekly pre-show. So every single Sunday before we start the podcast, we jump on a Patreon-only show where we play, 3 or 4 songs or whatever we have time for before we start the podcast. And it's a lot of fun. It's a bit exclusive, and it's only $5 a month, and you get to join in every week, including, like Ed said, there's bonus stories. There's a bonus. We've started doing Behind the Song series where we talk about this, how we've created a song in its entirety from songwriting to recording to even if there's a music video involved, you get to hear the whole thing.
Yeah. So check it out, patreon.com/crimesagainstfolk. And we're doing a little bit of a different interview setup today, so I'm I'm going to send the invite link over now.
Cool.
To Adam.
I'm going to tell you a quick story in the meantime.
Go for it.
Since this is a storyteller podcast. So, I played a little outdoor gig last night.
Yeah.
And I played in Cave Creek. It was just a little solo thing. Stephanie was actually supposed to play violin with me, Stephanie Groot, but she had a possible COVID exposure. And so she did the right thing and stayed home and got a COVID test. So she's kind of waiting for the test results, but she's probably okay. But just in case, she thought it would be smart, and I agree. So I ended up playing it by myself. And it was quite rainy in Cave Creek last night, so most people's shows got canceled, but mine did not. They decided to hold out, which was awesome because I played from 4 to 7, and at about 6:45, it started pouring rain and thunder and lightning and all of that, and we packed up my gear in about 3 minutes, and we were out the door. It was record timing. But at the beginning of the show, one of my friends, Kevin Causey, came over to watch me play because his show got canceled, which was too bad for Kevin, but it was nice to see him. And also he brought over a harmonica player named Eddie J, or Charles, I believe his goes by on Facebook. So we're a little confused if it's Eddie J or Charles J. But regardless, he was great. And he ended up sitting in with me for the first set, which was super fun. He was a great harmonica player because he didn't play on stuff he wasn't totally comfortable with, which I think is a sign of a fantastic musician. You know, no need to just kind of play all over anything. So we had a lot of fun. And afterwards, he came up to me. He's like, yeah, I know your dad. I've seen you play before. Your dad, John Norton, who's actually watching live right now. Hi, Dad. And he said, I've come out to see you and Ed before at Janie's, and I'm a really good friend of your dad's. And I said, oh, that's so cool. And we took a picture and we sent it to Dad. And he said, have you ever thought about playing harmonica? And I said, well, yeah, I have thought about playing for harmonica. In fact, I have a set of harps that my dad gave me, and I keep meaning to bring it out and play it. And I just haven't because I just haven't, but I'm definitely going to. And he goes, oh, I know those harps. I gave them to your dad.
Wow.
So he gave a set of harps to my dad, who gave them to me, and I'm really excited. Now it's kind of lit a fire, you know, so I'm definitely going to get going on that. But
Oh, cool.
yeah, so thanks again for the harps, Dad.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Small world, huh?
I know. Wow. Sisterhood of the Traveling Harps. Well, I'm glad you made it out safe. No lightning strikes, no nothing like that. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And good, even more good news. I have Adam with us on Zoom. I'm going to switch over here.
Yay.
And make sure that it is doing it. Hey, can you hear us?
Yes, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. Hey guys.
Can you see
Hi,
us?
Adam.
Hi.
Can you
I'm so
see
glad
us?
to
Okay?
be here with you guys.
Yeah. I'm trying a new thing. So can you see both of us right now?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, good.
Adam wins the
Yeah.
award for best background ever,
Oh,
which
holy
is not
cow.
This is
surprising.
The mermaid wall.
I love it.
No.
Do you do like live streams with that in the back and stuff?
Yeah, I do Facebook Live every Friday right here from this very wall.
Nice.
Yeah, Adam is also on Patreon. I actually support Adam's Patreon page, and you
Yes, we
can
are
too.
supporting each other.
We are.
Aw.
Yes. And I get like a little, shot of excitement when I see, when I get a notification that you've posted something new. I'm like, oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah, Ed
Yeah.
supports me too. I have a
Yay.
private, not a private,
We
a
got to
personal
support
one.
each other,
Yeah.
It's really nice. That's one of my favorite things about you, Adam, is how supportive you are of the music community. And it's not just me who feels it. I hear it all the time from our circle of friends. It's really incredible what you and both Jim Coletti do for the music scene. You both are real, especially in Phoenix. It's really admirable what you do, and it's inspiring.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That is one of the best things about being a singer-songwriter is that you get to meet and become fans of and friends with so many amazing, talented people. I feel so lucky, So
Me too. So
yeah.
do you want to tell our friends here a little history on how we all became friends?
Well, why don't you start?
Okay.
You start because I'm shy. No.
Well, we know we're lucky to know and listen to Adam because we used to play at a venue that existed in Phoenix for a while, and it was a really wonderful thing that happened to the Phoenix music community, and it is called the Listening Room. And when it opened, us singer-songwriters were very excited because we need more listening rooms in this world. And it was opened by Adam Smith and Jim Coletti. And I contacted them immediately, and Jim wrote me back. I said, what can we do to play here? And we ended up doing some Witherword shows. We had our CD release party there. We had our Simon and Garfunkel tribute show there a few times. And one time we had a little bit of a delay in performing because we had a death in the family, I guess, and friends, but family kind of like thing. So it was the funeral was the same day, and it was a really tragic day. And I said, I still want to do the show tonight. It was my friend John Reed that passed away, and I said John Reed would want me to do the show tonight, but I'm gonna be a little late. So is there any way that we can maybe get an opener to come in and perform so I can go to the funeral and then come to the show afterwards? And Jim said, how about Adam Smith? And I said, yes, please. So Adam and that was the first time I'd really heard you live, because we had known about each other and we had met before. But I think that was the first moment where we really connected, and we got to hear you do your thing, and we got to share a stage. And there's just something really intimate about that. And I feel like that changes a friendship, and we were like, okay, we're friends. We're best buds now. And
Yeah.
yeah, and then after that, we just kept doing it, didn't we? Kept sharing stages.
Yes, and I fell in love with you and Witherword and um, the Simon and Garfunkel show, and I've been lucky to get to see you guys live a few times, and I'm so glad. I'm such a fan. I really am. I really admire you guys, and I'm so excited to be on your show. I've tuned into a few of these as well, and you guys do such a great job and ask such interesting questions and cover such interesting topics, and it's so cool and inspiring, and I'm just honored.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks. That's awfully kind.
Well, and likewise, really, and especially, I feel like there's musicians have gone in two different directions since the pandemic. They've either decided to take what they can online and run with it and create as much music as possible while we're all kind of on this lockdown, or I've talked to a lot of musicians who have been really depressed and too depressed to really do anything, which I completely understand as well. But Adam, I'm grateful that you fall into the category of artists that have just taken it and run with it. You've created so much during this time. It's been amazing to see.
Yeah, I am really inspired, and I'm a homebody, and I have a brain that just doesn't ever stop. Like everything that goes into my brain turns into some kind of creativity. I do have my artwork that I do, and my journaling and my writing, and that keeps me grounded, and I have my music that keeps the energy flowing. And it just makes sense that now that there's this big piece of the career that's kind of just not there for this undetermined amount of time, I think it's really brought me together with my audience in a closer way, a more important way, in a lot of ways. Would you agree with that?
I
With
think
you guys
so.
as
Like,
well?
I think, yeah, like there, because we've had to, since we've been in this situation, we've had to kind of innovate. And I mean, obviously, we started this podcast as a way to innovate, but it also allows us an opportunity to connect with the fans probably a little more over the internet than we had before. Like we would still do our live streams and everything, and we would try to do things with our live streams that would help help connect with people. Like we did the microphone just for the live stream a lot of times, so we could talk directly to them. But yeah, I think in this sort of lockdown mode, we've been able to connect a little more and make things that I think mean a little more to us in some instances. So that would mean the people that are fans and support us on Patreon and stuff appreciate it a little more, I think.
I
Yeah.
feel, and I hear what you mean about that connection. And especially because we can't really all get together and see each other in person, and we're all feeling so much at this time. So when we do get to talk to our fans online, it's like oh, I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here too, kind of a thing, you know?
Yeah, I feel that. And through this current situation that we're in, I have really rediscovered my love for music because, as you guys know, the work part of it, when you're gigging and you're an independent artist and you're doing everything yourself, you're producing the work and making the images and doing all of the wearing all the hats. You spread your energy a little thin, and there's been a great opportunity for me just to sit down at the piano for the joy of just sitting down and singing. And there's no, like, in a way, there's no pressure. And I don't know, it's nice to there's a lot of things I do miss about gigging. There's some things I don't miss about it. And so I just try to put it through a positive lens. And I really have, I've in this room that we're in, this is our little guest room. And I've set up kind of this cocoon situation. I have like my LED lights that throw all the like rainbows and
Ooh.
ripply water and stars and stuff on the walls. And it's kind of like a live music concert just for myself, and I can come in and put up my lights and create the atmosphere and write and plug into my Bose system and sing and fill the space. And it's a really joyful thing. I've had my moments of sadness and despair and you know feeling the unknownness
Hmm.
of when this is gonna come, when we're all going to be able to come back together again. But there's been some real nuggets of joy in it too. So it's just kind of what you make it, I think, you
Yeah.
know.
What about your songwriting do you think has changed, if it has at all, since we've been in quarantine and everything? Do you find it's changed really at all, or is it just more prolific, or what?
I find it has changed. It did impact, because I did kind of have a period of depression where I, like all artists, thought, okay, how am I going to engineer this to work and to continue making income
Yeah.
and continue doing what I love? And it just seemed very overwhelming. And so I just kind of took a time to rest, and I didn't write.
Hmm.
Like between this year and last year, I wrote less than I ever have. But lately, I have been reapproaching songwriting because I've written lots of story songs and lots of personal narrative songs and lots of poetic prose, kind of traditional singer-songwriter songs. And now I'm kind of having fun going into a more primal thing with music where maybe I just set up a drone and vocalize over it
Yeah.
and just get out my emotions that way. And of course, I get out my emotions through songwriting. It's a great place to put your emotions. But I've been kind of just doing more experimentation with getting more abstract, getting more primal with it. Not sitting down, not with the intention to, like, I'm going to write a really good song and it's going to go on iTunes and it's going to go on the radio. And it's going to be,
Yeah.
all this stuff sometimes you think you want, but
Yeah.
it's become like music therapy for
Oh.
me. And so I've been just getting creative and kind of getting into trance spaces. I've been studying like astral projection. I've been meditating. I've been just kind of finding ways to travel beyond my mind and beyond the limitations. And music is wonderful for that. So it's
Hmm.
been really therapeutic. And I'm going to start to share some of that stuff. And but I have continued to write. But the more I sit and sing my songs, I find I'm becoming more improvisational within the songs I've written.
Hmm.
So like the live streams that I do on Friday nights, it's always like a half hour, and I sort of kind of know what I'm going to sing, but I leave a lot of room to just express and be open to just whatever comes at the time. And so sometimes the songs are really long, really different, or you know, you just kind of you keep rediscovering your own music the more you sing. And that's something that is one of the things I miss about performing for people, because the people you perform, like, their energy affects what you sing
Yeah.
and how it
Yeah.
flows. And it's really interesting. So it's interesting to see how that works through the mobile device.
How do you think that's been
Because
different, like with your talk about, connecting in a more intimate level on your live stream audience? Like, how do you think your performance has changed over live streaming versus in-person performances?
well, it's different because some of the gigs you do as a working musician, you are there to kind of provide atmosphere. You're not always like the focal point, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
Yeah.
you can kind of just have fun and go and do it and hang out and be part of the vibe. But the people who are tuning in are like right there with you and can chat with you and recommend, request songs. It's interesting just to see who shows up. And it's just a lot of fun. And I didn't do it for a long time because I thought to myself, well, my voice isn't always consistent. And you talk yourself out of stuff. And I'm like, my energy is never up. Like midnight to like sunrise is like my time I come alive. And
Yeah. Same.
nobody's there for a live stream really during those
Yeah.
hours. So I came to the middle of the road with like 9 p.m. I can do. And so my people on the East Coast just have to kind of deal with that. But it's fun. I just decided, I'm gonna do it for me because I want to do it. And I'm so glad I do. I'm so glad I decided to do it because every Friday I just kind of light up, and I really look forward to getting in drag and making a set list and brushing out my hair and picking out something to wear and getting in front of the mermaid wall. And whoever shows up. But it's more about how it feels. It's just another excuse to have fun, really.
No, that's good
So
because you still keep kind of the routine of like, well, this is a show, I'm gonna get myself ready for it,
mhm.
and it'll feel like a show to me still, even though I'm only playing to
Yeah,
my mobile phone. There are still people who are watching it, and it still feels like a show to me. So I totally
yeah,
get that.
yeah. There's a whole ritual to live performing. There's kind of like getting into the zone and tuning into the audience and having a little bit of the butterflies.
Yeah.
And every time I sing, I'm just like, am I going to be any good? Am I going to suck? Is it going to be good? And so it does kind of help provide a little bit of normalcy. It gives a little kind of buffer to the anxiety that I know a lot of musicians are feeling because of that missing piece.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm so thankful for the little small audience that shows up on Fridays, that is growing, and it's helping me grow as a musician because every time you play, you grow and you get better. And even if it's just here in the guest room at the end of the hall, it's
Hmm.
it's all part of it.
Well,
Yeah.
I love how you incorporate so much into your creative world. Like you're not just a musician and you're not just a piano player, singer, guitar player. You're all those things and more. I love that you have incorporate your wardrobe and dressing in drag. I mean, it's all visual too. And also, I mean, speaking of visual, we haven't even talked about your art yet. You're also an incredible artist, which is why, it's Adam Smith Music Art. And I think that term art goes into so much more. I mean, it's again, it's the art of the visual, and then it's also the art of what you create with paper and pen but that being said, I do want to ask you a little bit more about your artistry as well, because you're talk about how the pandemic's affected your music. How has it changed your art as well, and what are you creating for that?
Well, thank you for asking, and thanks for the wonderful comments about that, and just the support that you guys give me in general. And yeah, I was very frustrated with my art and my painting and everything. And then when the pandemic happened, it's like a lot of those things you just have to face it. I had to, so I dug out some of my old canvases that I like. I'll make art and I'll like burn it, or I'll hide it under the bed, or I'll because I'll just get so frustrated with it. I have to like destroy it, or I just go crazy. So you're your own worst critic always.
Yeah.
But I've really gotten back into my art and illustrating, and I actually brought a couple of things to show you guys.
Ooh.
If I can hold it up to the screen. And it's okay that I've had my phone sideways.
Oh yeah,
but
no,
now
this
it's
is
like,
great.
It's fine. And
So
also, just for anyone who's listening and not watching, we can share these. Maybe Adam will share these images with us so we can put them in our show notes later.
Yep.
yes, I will.
Awesome.
So here is
Ooh.
this is called Before the Embrace,
Wow.
and it's an owl and a crescent moon, and those are my hands, and this is a pencil drawing
I'm
that
I'm
I
on a
did.
delay, so. Oh wow. Well,
Yeah,
I love your owls, so
I'm obsessed with owls.
rightly so.
I'm like the owl person in my neighborhood here. But and then I also love fairies and unicorns and mermaids, and so this is called Baptism, and so this is just idea I had in my head, and I've worked on this painting for a long time. It's kind of a study,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to do like a larger version of this
Oh wow, that's
on a
cool.
bigger canvas,
Yeah,
and
it's beautiful.
so
Wow.
that's a little idea of what I do. But it's been wonderful for me just to reconnect with that, because when you're running around promoting your music and be, being your own agent and your own promoter and all this stuff, you don't have a lot of time for kind of those other soul feeding things, and art feeds my soul. I'll go into a museum and cry just at how beautiful the art is, and I love art, and it's always been an equal part of my life. Music and art has always been, because people ask me which one do you like more, or which is more you, and it's both. It's
I love that.
I love both. So
I love that.
so
And
that's
and
just a little bit of where I've been working on all kinds of stuff, and I want to
yeah.
incorporate doing like some animation for my songs,
Oh,
like
that'd be
maybe
great.
doing
Cool.
some animated kind of stuff, and more visual stuff, and uh, like illustrated songs have like little slideshows of like little sketches and things to kind of spell out the story. And there's just all kinds of fun. Now that we're sitting at home, there's no excuse to
Right?
not do all the stuff,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I love that. You're an amazing artist, and
Mm-hmm.
I love all of your owl things. In fact, I was sitting in Morro Bay with my fiance Brad not too long ago, and we were sitting in the backyard, and this massive owl came and flew in and sat on the neighbor's house. It was just right there, and our first thought was to take pictures of it and send it to Adam.
yay! See, I love that, and I get that from my friends. They'll send me like little videos and stuff, and that thrills me more than seeing like a professional close-up photography thing of, a owl from, like BBC or something. You
Yeah.
know, I love to see them just like where they are, like in their natural habitat. I love to, because I don't know, I love them.
Yeah, they're
And so
really
thank you for sending me
magical.
that.
Yeah, one
Yeah.
time Ed and I were driving also in Morro Bay, funny enough, and we were going down this really curvy road, and I think it was like midnight, and we called it, the road is called Old Creek Road, but we called Old Creepy Road because it is. And it was really late at night, and it's like got all these canopy trees that kind of come down onto it. So you, at some points, you're really just feels like you're very enclosed in this like dark, creepy fairy tale, and we see these two eyes staring back at us on the side of the road, and we're like, what is that? Because it wasn't big, it wasn't a deer, it was definitely like smaller, but it wasn't small, it was big, it was just
Thought
like
maybe
we,
it was a cat or something.
yeah, we couldn't figure it out, and it was just sitting there, and as we get closer and closer and closer, we're like, that's an owl just sitting on the side of the road. An old creepy road. It was
Yeah.
Just
I'll never
chilling.
forget it. Yeah, it was so cool.
It was strange because it was sitting on the ground. Like it wasn't in a tree or anything. It was on the ground, just like kind of right on the side of the road. And it didn't, like, I've never seen an owl just kind of sit there on the side of the road before.
Yeah, you see the visuals. They're always, flying or in a tree or doing something.
Yeah.
And yeah, you don't see. I don't know. Have you seen that before, Adam?
Maybe he was getting up close to a snack.
Yeah,
Oh,
probably.
yeah.
Yeah, I have. I was telling Jim yesterday about this I've had some strange experiences. I was listening to this book, this audio book. It's called Stories from the Messengers. And it's all these stories about owls and high strangeness, like paranormal kind of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but
Cool.
associated with owls. And just this guy, his name is Mike Cleland, and he's become like the go-to guy. Like everybody sends him their strange owl stories. And I was listening to his book, and it was like maybe 1 o'clock in the morning, and I got this impulse to get in the car, and I drove uh, kind of like about 10 miles away, and I ended up in this residential neighborhood where I had never been. And I just parked my car somewhere there in the neighborhood in the dead of night. And I just started walking, and I was listening to this book, and I was listening to this guy talking about owls. And I came to one of those streets, where there's kind of like I don't know what they call it, but it's kind of like a dead end, and it's like a round driveway, and the houses are around it,
Oh, a
right?
cul-de-sac?
Yeah, cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
So I walked up on this cul-de-sac, and out of the dark, this white owl came and flew directly under the street light, just a few feet away from me, and landed on the pavement, and was just like right there in front of me. And I thought I was
Whoa.
filming, but it turned out that when I thought I was stopping the video, I actually was starting it. Have you ever done that?
Yep.
And
All
so
the
I thought
time.
I got the whole thing on camera, but I got this then he like went into somebody's yard and kind of hopped in there. And so I got this real dark picture of him. But I've had so many strange encounters with owls. It's really surreal just to meet them. It's not like when you see them in the zoo, or when you watch a video of them, or you see them in a kind of domesticated environment, but when you
Yeah.
just see them out and about, it's it's really cool. And yeah, I've always kind of liked owls, but I really got into them after I was walking out. I walk around late at night in the city. I'm a night walker.
That's cool.
I
You probably see all
worry
the
my
cool stuff
friends.
that way, you know?
Uh, and so, but I was walking here next to the canal, and just bopping along to one of my own songs, actually. And I was kind of walking by this fence and looked up straight into the eyes of a great horned owl.
Whoa.
Whoa.
that was maybe like 5 or 6 feet away from me. And it was just so stunning. And ever since then, I just am, anytime I go out, I'm looking on all the tops of the signs, the street signs and the rooftops. And I've had several owl encounters since then. And, I love to just go out and put on some music and manifest owls and just feel the night energy. And now I have a camera. Jim got me for Christmas. He got me a nice camera. So now hopefully I can get some, because it's hard to capture them with the iPhone when it's dark.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's a very delicate situation. And so hopefully I'll be able to share some beautiful, nice HD owl photos with you
Well,
guys.
apparently you attract them, so I
Yeah.
would love to see that. I look forward to seeing your captures. That's really cool that you got a nice camera.
Yeah, and I have my song Owl Dreams. That was, that's all about owls too. So
Yeah. Well, they're really
they just
magical,
were
and
really inspiring. Yeah.
so are you. You're really magical too, so it makes sense. And
Oh, you were magical too.
yeah, we're big fans of Adam, as you can tell. And do you have new music or a new album that you're working on, or an EP or anything right now?
Yes, yes, and yes to all.
Cool. Let's hear about it
I,
all.
yeah, I have a pop album that I've been working on that is different than my kind of singer-songwriter Americana folky stuff. That it's more keyboards and beats and more like dance music and more ethereal. And so that's been really fun. And I'm in the final stages of working that album out. It's called None of This May Apply,
Oh, nice.
because I thought, since this is so different from my other stuff, if like the hardcore fans don't get it, then we could just say none of this may apply. And I think I'll do like an acoustic version, like an EP of some of the songs, and it'll be called This May Apply. So it's like,
I love that.
That's a
I love
really
there's
cool
always
idea.
kind of like a sense of humor to it, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's really fun. It's really 80s influence. I'm really inspired by Florence and the Machine and Imogen Heap
Mhm.
and Bjork and Sarah McLachlan and Tori Amos
Yes.
and
My
Kate
ladies.
Bush. I'm
good
a big
stuff.
fan of Kate Bush. And so it's just a real blend. I mean, it's still me. It's still my melody sense. It's still my kind of sensitive way of writing and everything. But it's just more, there's like, I love 80s music and keyboards and drum machines and shoulder pads and sequins and
See, this is
and
why
I
we're
love all that.
friends. And
Yeah,
I feel like I love that you and I feel like we really connect musically, because I'm so similar to you in that sense. Like, I love, my Americana folky stuff is mostly what I do, but I love making pop and electronic songs too. And I don't want to like discard that side of my artistry, even though like the main thing might be the folk and Americana thing. Like, and in fact, maybe that changes one day. I don't know.
Yeah.
In fact, Adam and he wrote we have a collaboration coming out soon-ish where he wrote this beautiful song that just blew me out of the water. And he's like, "Do you want to sing on this?" And I said, "Yeah, I want to sing on this." And we just did this ended up becoming this really cool duet. And so we'll have that out for you guys soon.
Nice.
I absolutely love that. And that is on
and
that
Ed
Americana
added
side.
some awesome bass to it.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I forgot about
Yeah,
that. It's on it
Yeah.
too.
I wasn't sure if that was the song you were talking about, but yeah.
yeah,
totally forgot about that, Ed.
I
I'm
was
sorry.
I was so thrilled how that song came together, and it's just waiting for me to just kind of do some final touches on the vocals to that, and we're gonna make that a single, and I think we're gonna do a fun kind of little at-home music video in
Uh-huh.
the studio moment with us kind of with our guitars and separately,
Yep.
and splice it together and make something
Pandemic
for our
style.
fans. Just it's a cool song. It's called "Trying Not to Try Too Hard," and I wrote this down. It just came as an initial. Sometimes things just catch your ear. Trying not to try too hard, and I'm always talking to myself and talking myself into my day and giving myself pep talks. And you know, I'm really in this mode where I'm trying to give up old paradigms, old processes, old ways of thinking,
Yeah.
and trying to believe in myself, and that I don't have to grind and hustle and work so hard, and that good things can come to me easily, and trying not to try too hard. That statement just felt really empowering to me, and it led to a whole song. And Ashley was the first one. I sent my little, I think I sent you like a voice recording off my phone
Yeah.
of it before I did anything with it.
It's a
And
fabulous
she just
song.
took to it, and
Oh, yeah.
took it and kind of produced it really, and took it to this whole other level. And it just sounds beautiful. And we are so excited to share it with people. So I have a lot of that's going to be coming out. I have quite a few singles that are going to be coming out. The third installation of Found Feathers, because I have Found Feathers 1, Found Feathers 2, and Found Feathers 3 is going to
Cool.
be coming out. That's an EP series of EPs. And of course, there's a philosophy behind that as well. So I have that, my pop album, and I got my Patreon popping,
Tell
and my
us,
YouTube
give
channel
us your
popping.
Patreon link again so I can share it in the chat here.
Yes, it is patreon.com/AdamSmithMusic.
So Adam
Yes.
is quite active on his Patreon page, and like I said, I support his and he supports mine too. But you guys should, if you should go check it out, because he's you know, he really shares a lot on it. It's not one of those pages that just kind of sits there. He's very, very active and building his community there too. So you guys should check it out.
Patreon is wonderful. I'm
I
so
love it too.
thankful for it.
Yeah.
I'm still growing my audience on there, and that'll all come eventually. But it's just it's such a brilliant model, just the way they've set it up, and it's really user friendly. And I know a lot of people don't know what it is if you've never gone on there, but it's a great way to, if you are missing, like us musicians, we're missing playing for people, and people are missing us playing for them. And this is a great way to not miss us. This is actually a great way to connect with us, and to get something from us. Like I try to post on there every other day this month, and have been pretty consistent, pretty successful with that. And I just, whether it's my phone recordings or a demo of a song or a work in progress or a clip of something that I'm working on that's not maybe a complete song yet, I have a lot of stuff, and not everything is going to go on an album. Not everything is appropriate for YouTube. So Patreon is just such a great way to share with your hardcore supporters. And it's kind of a VIP, really cool situation for people who want to get involved. And it's a great way to keep supporting the arts. And it's not just musicians, it's painters, and people just creating all kinds of cool content on there. And yeah, I love being on there. I love supporting you guys, and it's wonderful. It's really awesome.
And I remember when you first created it and you said to me, you know, Ashley, I want this to be a thing that I create and keep up with for the long haul. Like, it's not going to be one of those things I start doing and stop doing it. I'm in it like forever. And that kind of stuck with me. I thought that was really important, especially as artists, because we can get distracted really easily. Like, oh, well, now there's this thing we got to do, and there's this thing we got to do, and things kind of ebb and flow. But it's important to keep your core, the thing you believe in the most, going. And I think Patreon is a really great place to start. So, or to continue.
Yeah, and to add what you're saying there, it's like with Facebook and YouTube and all these places, there's like all these like algorithms and trending things, and there's all these factors and layers to it. But like Patreon is just your world.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like your world that you're creating directly in collaboration with your fans and your friends and your supporters, because once they pledge that $1 or $5 a month or whatever, they become part of the project.
Yeah.
You know, they become part of that project, and I
Yeah.
like it. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, a lot of our listeners are patrons of ours on Crimes Against Folk, and I think that we feel that with you guys as well. Exactly what Adam is saying, and we just want to say thanks to you guys since we're on the topic.
It's
Love
been
you.
fun
Yes.
just to like, I mean, we've tried it before with Witherword, and um, it didn't take to, at least for me, it didn't take quite as much on the creative side of it. But when we've done it with Crimes Against Folk, it's been kind of fun because we have thought about, like, for us, this podcast is kind of a way to um, share stories, whether they're well known or not, and for artists to come on and share their stories about, experiences they've had. And we've been able to make things that have, like, pertain to our stories, and we get to share extra stories of what we've done, make little videos here and there, like, hey, here's a cool story, spurred from a photo, because we can't remember all this stuff. And so it's been kind of a nice archival project for us, and that people get to help support directly rather than through a distributor or through something else has been kind of nice too. I think and I agree with you. It's a great way to build a community of people who are
Yeah.
super active and engaging with your stuff. So
Yeah, you're right.
Agreed.
You're also creating your legacy,
yeah,
your musical legacy, because like you said, you're telling the story. And from a fan and a supporter perspective, I love that. I love getting the little inside information, or a look into the process, or what inspired that, or what
yeah,
kind of the circumstances around, certain songs or certain albums. I love that because I love music, I love art, and I love the creative process. I love to talk to fellow creative people and hear what inspires them and what makes you tick, and how you think and how you approach, because everybody kind of approaches things in a different way. We can all learn from each other.
yeah.
And it's very enriching, it's very educational, it's very inspiring. I'm pro Patreon for sure.
Yeah.
Pro
Is there
sequins, pro shoulder pads.
there you go. That's your tag. We're in pro sequins, pro shoulder pads,
And
pro
pro
Patreon.
Pro self-producing.
It's the
Being in control of the aesthetics,
pro indie
being
music.
in control of all aspects.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm a bit of a control freak. I guess I found that out,
Yeah, but
through all this.
there's no
Okay.
better way to be successful is to take control of your own music. When you
Yeah.
put your career in charge of other people, nothing gets done. And when you do it yourself, you are in control of it. And I
Yeah.
completely support that. It's one of the things that I love about you, Adam, is that you're a doer. You
Yeah.
do it, and you do so much, and you're constantly growing and constantly looking to see, like, well, what's next, and what and it's something Ed and I do too. We kind of stop and talk about it. And Adam, you and I've had many conversations where we're just like, okay, well, what's the next thing? Like, what is, and it's not just about, it's not really control freak thing, because you think about your audience when you're thinking about it. Like, what does my audience want? What's going to be the next thing that's going to inspire people, and how can I be inspired to create it? All of that. And we talk about it, and we go with change. We're not afraid of change as artists. And that's so important.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and music is a really interesting path, being a musician, being a storyteller, being a performer, because it really requires you to be authentic. You have to be authentically in love with yourself. You have to be authentically interested in what you're creating, or your audience will sniff it out.
Yeah.
If you start to sort of lose your if you start to lose your spark, it's people can tell, like, and so I love when I see somebody doing their thing and having fun, and that's what inspires me the most. And you guys are so good at it. You guys obviously love what you're creating, and love what you do. And even just like with your setup and your, like, the technology, and how professional you guys have, even like this setup. It's so cool, so inspiring. And Ashley, you with your sponsorships and stuff, and like I would never think that way. Like I would never think about sponsorships or uh, like the worthiness of that. And it's just it
Oh yeah.
all
Go
is
get those
really interesting.
endorsements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a
But you touch on an
huge fan.
interesting thing there because yeah, a lot of times it's almost it's sort of a kind of a imposter syndrome kind of thing when you're thinking about endorsements and sponsorships and stuff. It's like, well, no, that's for the big people. I'm too small. It's not going to work. And then, but that's entirely not true. But it's hard sometimes to get in that mindset. So I think getting in, once you get in that mindset, it can be, it can work.
And well, yeah, and who's to say who's big and who's not? Like
Right.
I've talked to so many artists that are like, God, I just want to be, where Witherward's at, or I want to do what you're doing, Ashley, and it makes me stop and go, really? God, I feel that way about so many other artists. Like somebody feels that way about me, but I'm sure they feel it's the cool thing about independent music. It's Ed and I talk about it all the time. People are like, what's your fan base like? What's your listenership like? And we just shrug. We're like, I don't know.
Right.
We're just doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think if 2020 taught me a lot of things. And one thing I decided last year when all this challenge and weird stuff came about, it's just like, if you're going to pursue your dream, you got to pursue it. And you also have to believe that it can happen for you. Because if you're pursuing something and you're not really believing in it, and you're not really believing in your success, then you're just kind of going like this.
Yeah.
You're kind of opposing, you're becoming your own opponent. And
Yeah.
I decided, regardless of conditions, I'm just going to really joyfully create. And like I said, I reconnected with my love of creating music and also listening to music. I've started listening to albums and artists that I hadn't listened to since high school, since I lived back in Kentucky. And I just have discovered this, and that came from me. That was my response to the situation, because it was like, either this is going to stop me and bring me down, or I can use this to kind of like trampoline jump
Yeah.
to the next level. And so I think that we all of us kind of faced that pivotal moment in 2020 where we're like, okay, either this is going to kill me or it's going to make me stronger. And I love being where I'm at in my career right now, because I feel like I'm in a great position to inspire other people, because I'm not letting all this stuff drag me down. I'm keeping on, and I'm feeling actually more creative than I ever have. I
I
feel
could
like the
tell.
sky is the limit for me. I feel like all the things are still possible, that this is just temporary. And I keep envisioning that we're all going to be sipping wine and sipping coffee and back in our venues again, and with a different perspective, and also having dedicated more time to practicing and developing our craft, and being better musicians, and having a little time to retreat is kind of a good thing, I think. And I feel
Yeah.
really lucky, that I get to use this time to do that.
There's a couple of things I think a lot of people have realized right now during the pandemic, and it's one is that this, us not being able to go out and play is kind of a limitation, and I think, and well, is a limitation, and in those kind of moments where you are limited in how you can express yourself and how you can be creative, you tend to be more creative. I think you tend to be more, because it forces you, like, okay, well, wait, I can't do this thing anymore, but I still have to do what I'm here to do. So how can I make that happen? And then you find that it will start working in other ways. You'll start getting more creative in some of these ways. Maybe you start writing more like you've done. Maybe you start doing other genres or whatever. That's one thing I found. The other thing is that I think a lot of people noticed that they didn't have to go 120% the whole time. Like people are
Exactly.
going crazy because they're like, I can't, I was doing this thing and this thing and this thing and I just can't do it anymore. And they're like, you know what? Maybe I don't have to. Maybe
Right.
I could just kind of step back and cut out some of the maybe useless things I was doing just to try and make myself feel worth more and more busy and everything. Maybe I need to, you know, uh, slow down a bit as well. Like I think that's two things I've noticed people latching on to during the pandemic.
Yeah, slow down and then completely fill up your time with stuff you have to do online.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and it could still be that way, like just with all
Hmm.
the social media platforms. And it really is important what your approach is, how you feel about yourself, and your entitlement to
Hmm.
success, and your entitlement to, succeeding in your field. And it really is about bringing that perspective into it. And I've just been telling myself the universe has my back, and everything is always working out for me, and the universe is just going to have to make it happen in a different way.
Hmm.
And so I look forward to how the universe is going to surprise me, and the connections with people through social media, through doing things online. It's like, your music is not going to stop growing, your
Right.
audience is not going to stop growing.
Hmm.
I have I recorded this cover of ABBA, Chiquitita, that it's got like it's going like on 26,000 views now
Oh.
on my
Nice.
channel, and people comment on it every day and are discovering my YouTube channel through that. And that's just one of the example of how you just kind of dedicate yourself to your craft, and do what you love. And I love ABBA. And
Yeah,
so,
ABBA's great.
and ABBA always raises my vibration. If I'm feeling low, I can just put on Dancing Queen, or, there's something about their music that's just so lush and uplifting. And
And
so it makes sense that,
complicated.
That is a
huh?
band I was not. I didn't get it, and then
Yeah,
I really didn't. And then we had to learn a couple of songs for a private party where we're playing, and then so we had to really listen to them and dig into them. And then I was like, "Whoa, this band is amazing!"
yeah.
Like the whatever they're
The
doing to like
time signatures and
yeah,
yeah.
whatever they're doing
The
when they're writing the
layering
songs, the
Uh-huh.
and those
layering,
voices. Oh my gosh, those voices
it's
just cut
incredible.
right through the air.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's incredible. And so
Yeah.
I am an ABBA fan now. I was not before that point in
Same.
time, and
What are your favorites? Do you have some favorite songs?
what was the
What
what's
was it?
the
We share a
Fernando? I
favorite.
really like that one.
Fernando, what's the other one that we were not
Um,
not
because we've done
Waterloo?
it live. We did one
Uh-huh.
of them live,
Uh-huh. What was
and
it?
I
What
can't
was the
remember.
Man
other
After
one?
Midnight, Voulez-Vous,
No, it was one of the
Knowing Me,
hits.
Knowing You, SOS,
Nope. I
Knowing
mean
me,
those are all
Winner
great
Takes It
songs.
though,
All.
knowing me, knowing you is really good though.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I
Take
gotta
a Chance
find
on
it.
Me.
Yes, that's it. Take a
Yes.
chance on me.
That is it.
It's like because
So catchy.
they do this kind of like because they like shift the chord before the measure starts, which gives it
Uh-huh.
this kind of neat push that
Uh-huh.
without using but they're not using the rhythm to push. They're using the chords to push the rhythm, to push like
Who
this.
thinks like that?
I know.
It's
I've
crazy.
Crazy. Yeah.
Mad respect for ABBA
It's
after
amazing.
that. And it's hard. It's hard to play and sing. I think I was like, Ed, I can't like it's the chords aren't that hard, but
It's
then
just where they are.
yeah, I was like, there's no way I can play and sing this at the same time. Like you're gonna have to take it and I'll sing. It was just
Yeah.
crazy.
And going back to my YouTube channel, Adam Smith Music on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Hit the notification button. Give me some love. But you know, you wonder about like what is it about that video that so many people are finding me, and you know, because I made that video just like I do all my other videos
Mm-hmm.
that get like tens of views, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it's just like the universe just will surprise you, you know. And I respond to comments every day on that video, and people find my channel
That's so
and
cool.
Wow.
are now following me because of that. And I'm like, that's gonna have 1 million views one day. Like
Yeah.
I can see that, you know.
Yeah.
And so you never know what avenue that the energy is going to come from, that the support is going to come from. So you must have faith. You must, you know, you got to kind of have the right kind of perspective
Yeah.
in these times, especially, you know, because if you just go wherever the wind blows and you just respond to the crazy challenging things that are happening in the world, it's really hard to keep up with your morale. And music is one of those emotional bending, emotional whisperer kind of feeling things where you can really use it to pick yourself up. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you can write a song, you can feel better, you can sit down and sing something or listen to it. And so I think we have an advantage. That's the way I look at it. I think we're not at a disadvantage. We have an advantage. That's what I
Absolutely.
think.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
have ABBA. So how can we
We have Abra, and we can
go wrong?
create, and we keep creating, and that's really cool to see your one of your videos taken off like that, Adam. And there's
Yeah.
nobody who deserves it more. Adam, if you guys get a chance, please go listen to Adam's music. He truly has a voice like an angel. There's like, I don't think I've ever met anybody in my life who has perfect pitch like Adam does. Like you will not hear his voice waver in pitch at all ever. It's really awesome
Yeah.
to hear.
That's
I'll
because
attest to
you're
that.
usually hearing like take 25 or 30 by the time
No, this is
or
live.
more.
I've heard you live, and it's the same. It's the same.
By the time I get that take, I'm like sweaty and I'm like hunched over and I'm like,
Do you do a million takes for songs, or do you just
I do. I'm trying not to do that anymore because now I'm taking
you're trying not to try
videos
too
from
hard?
I'm trying not to try too hard. Tie-in because I've been taking chunks of my live stream from Friday Night Live,
Uh-huh.
and I'll just take whatever song I think sounds the best out of those things, and that's made it a whole lot easier for me because I think with YouTube it's kind of about consistency. If you can
Yeah.
put up like a
Uh-huh.
song or two a week, a video or two a week, then I think that's a pretty good formula.
Mhm.
I think I'm doing pretty good. I'm pretty proud of myself for just, you know, staying consistent with that. And so yeah, that's made it a lot easier because I have two phones. I have one that goes live during the while I'm singing live on Facebook, and then another one that's a recording, just me. And then I have my condenser mic off to the side, so I can layer that HD sound into the video
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
and add a little reverb or a little mastering to it.
Nice.
And then the whole concert goes up onto Patreon without the talking because I'm very chatty, especially if I've had a couple of sips of coffee. Then I chat a lot with people between the songs, which is so fun.
Yeah.
But if you go to Patreon, you get just the songs. So you could get like a nice little half-hour little mini concert, which is just like, it's nice. And I go back to listen to them, and I even enjoy them. So,
Cool.
Now, what's the
so
best
there you
place
go.
to listen to your music, Adam? Are you on Bandcamp or iTunes or Spotify or any of that?
I am on iTunes, and so you can find my music there. If you look up my EP, Found Feathers, and I have a album called Paper Wings. I have an album called So Simple Now, and I have more music coming on the way with you guys that I'll be putting up our
Woo woo.
collaboration on iTunes, and we're going to talk about that some more.
Yeah.
And YouTube, I'm Adam Smith Music. That's my channel on YouTube. And Patreon, it's Adam Smith Music, patreon.com/Adam Smith Music. I'm Adam Music Art 3 on Instagram. And I have a TikTok, but I haven't set it up. Um, so on Facebook, I'm at facebook.com/Adam Smith Music Art. So I know that's a lot, but
Oh, that's
if you
okay.
have a pen and piece of paper, you can go back and listen
Can
to
you
all
find
that
it all
again.
on your website, adamsmithmusicart.com?
Yeah, there's links to my YouTube and everything on my website, which I haven't updated my website in a while,
Okay.
but all my links are there.
Okay.
So
And we'll throw them all in the
you
show
can
notes
find
too.
all. That's
Mhm.
kind of like my link tree. People have the link tree now,
Yeah.
but that's my link tree is my website. So.
Well, this has been wonderful just to catch up with you and to see you. It's been
Yeah.
ages since we've seen you, at least since I've seen you. So, but before we let you go, we had one more question we wanted
Yes,
to ask you. And this is something we ask everybody.
yes, I
Um,
believe in unicorns.
okay.
Yeah.
That about does it. So thank you for just kidding. Answers my question. No, we wanted to ask you if you could have any superpower, what would it be? Anything at all?
I do. Yeah, well, I have if I had a superpower, it'd be the power of appreciation because I just love
Mm.
appreciating things. But I feel like that's kind of a boring answer. Well, it
That's a
wouldn't
good
be
one though.
reading minds or anything like that. That's an interesting question. If I had a superpower,
I like the appreciation one, like because that's something that sometimes we don't do easily enough.
Yeah.
Like if you had the
hmm
power to just like cease anything and appreciate what it is or
hmm
what it's doing for you, I think that's valid.
I think
yeah,
that's
You
really
don't have to think
important.
about it too hard.
If we could all be a little bit more appreciative of art and music and
Yeah.
people and friends and family in our lives. I mean, you often don't think about how appreciative you are of something until you lose it. So
Yeah.
I think that is a great superpower, and I would not just for yourself, but just to wish upon the world.
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's a beautiful
yeah.
response. Unless you want to go with something more
Yeah, if
fun,
you
then
want to
go for
do
it.
like
Well, I
a
love
super fun.
food, so it would be great to make any dish of food I want just appear.
Oh, that would be
I'm a
cool.
foodie. I love to eat, and then like I could like feed people. Like I could just go,
Oh,
you
there you
know,
go.
here's food for everybody. Everybody that needs it.
And
Like
you don't have to make it. I would
just
love.
telepathically,
Yeah,
instantly.
you don't
You
have to
know,
cook it or anything.
banana split. Here you go.
Oh, I want one now.
Pizza,
I
Oh,
want a
that'd be
banana split
perfectly
and a
there.
that'd
pizza.
be
I don't
dangerous.
know. That's
Yeah, you got
but
to
I
watch
don't
out for
know.
that with Ed.
Yeah, I love food. So
There you go.
the superpower of food.
You could have the superpower of making food and the additional superpower of appreciating whatever you make.
Oh,
Appreciating every bite.
Yeah.
twist.
Yes.
Nobody's ever said either of those things before, by the way.
Yep.
So very unique,
Good.
just like
What do
you,
people
Adam.
usually say? Reading
Um,
minds
The
and stuff?
fly.
yeah, we
That's
get a lot
Flying.
of
mine.
flying. We get a lot of
Teleporting.
uh-huh.
Look into astral projection. That's something you can actually do,
There you
and you
go.
can fly.
Yeah.
You can fly to the
Oh
moon,
yeah, all the
literally.
things.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what? I
Yep.
might change my mind to that. I might change
Yeah.
mine to that. We've had some really kind ones like like healing the world. I can't remember. Laura Hall had a really nice one. I wish I could remember what
Yeah,
it
I'll
was. I'll have to go back and
Listen to that one.
But it was
Go back to the archives.
Yeah.
yeah, I think it was like it was similar to actually to what we were just talking about with yours, but a little bit different. She's saying, "I wish the world could know empathy or something like empathy on the world, something like that."
Yeah,
yeah,
I remember that.
that was
Yeah.
a nice one.
But yeah, I think that's a valid answer. I'm willing to accept that.
I'm the only one that's been like a scary one. Like I want the laser death voice. I basically want to be the canary. That's mine, which is so dark. And I'm currently. This is why I'm like, ooh. I like that we're still asking people this because I'm just really want to reformulate my answer because it's just too dark.
I have a feeling by the time we're done with this podcast, you may not have a concrete answer still.
No, because every time someone comes up with one, I'm like, ooh, I want that. Ooh, I want that.
It's like your food
Yeah.
envy thing. Like anytime someone gets something, she's like, "Oh, I wish I
I
got
do.
that."
The food envy is real. I order something and then everyone gets their meal, and I'm just so jealous of everybody else's meal, and I wish I could take mine back and get what they had, but I
And I'm
can't.
always that person. I always ask for the thing, and then they say, "Oh, we don't have that on the menu today."
Oh,
Oh,
There's
oh,
something
that's like
about
the
my
anti-superhero power.
law of attraction or something. I don't know. There's something, some kind of cloud over me where they're like, they always run out of it. Like when I sit down at the table, I don't know. So then I
oh,
could be like, "Are you sure?" And I could appear in the kitchen, and I could like mess with them.
there you go.
See,
Yes.
Oh man, that'd
you
be
had it
amazing.
all this time, you know. It's some kind of metaphor, some kind of moral in that, some
Yeah.
kind of message, some kind of something that I got to work on in that. But
Maybe a little
yeah,
less evil, but I
Yeah.
kind of like,
yeah,
again, it's the evil spin. You're picking up my energy from the canary thing. It's happening.
Well, we really appreciate you spending your Sunday, a little bit of your Sunday with us, Adam, and hopefully, yeah, we can get together and just sit down and hang out when this is all over,
yeah.
and say hello and wish Jim a belated happy birthday from both of us.
Happy birthday, Jim.
You are wishing him right now. He's watching.
Oh, he is. That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
I already wished it to him, but I didn't know if he was
He's
still
there.
watching.
He's listening from the room.
Oh, okay.
I can hear you guys echo on the other side of the wall. But thank you guys for having me today. I could talk to you guys all day.
I
I
know.
know.
Well,
So you guys are so fun, and what you're doing for the music community here in Phoenix, and bringing the musicians together, and you know, we all miss singing, and we get up on stage and sing to people, but you guys help people get to know artists
Yeah.
and tell their stories, and it's so fun. I'll
That's the
be a
hope.
guest anytime if you have a cancellation, or just you know,
Yeah.
want to talk about unicorns and fairies and owls, and
Yeah, let's
just,
do our
just
unicorn
say,
and owl
"Hey,
episode.
yeah.
you guys are worth waking up during the day for."
I know this is normally Adam's
Oh.
precious sleeping time, so thank you for that, and we would love to have you back on the show another time. So thank you again for being here
Absolutely.
now, and let's just get on another call soon, just chit chat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's get to know each other. Let's catch up.
Yeah, we'll catch up again
Yeah.
soon.
Well,
Thanks.
I'm giving you guys hugs
Oh,
I feel it.
so much.
Thank you, Adam. It's so good to see you. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
Okay. Thank you guys.
Thank
All right,
you.
bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Happy Sunday. Have a great week.
You
You
too.
too.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. That's Adam Smith.
Adam Smith. The Adam Smith.
He's awesome.
man.
What
Yeah.
a gem of a person
I
that's come into
s-
our lives.
Yeah, I seriously could have probably talked to him for another hour.
I
It's like
know.
we have a podcast to do, but I want to talk to him a lot longer than that.
I know. This is the problem with our show is it becoming 3 hours long.
We have this problem with everybody, honestly. Like,
We just want to talk. I just want to talk to my friends.
oh man.
But one of the coolest things is actually, I mean, we have some incredibly talented friends, and being able to share them with you guys brings me such joy. So
Yeah.
I hope you do get a chance to check out Adam's music and art and YouTube page and Patreon and all things, because he's one of the hardest working independent musicians that I know. And there's nothing I respect more than that in this life.
Yeah. Yeah. Hardworking indie musician. That's that's what you got to do. That's just how you got to do it now,
Yeah.
So, yeah, props to Adam for doing it all on his own and doing an incredible job
Yeah.
on it. Next, we have a little show and tell for you.
Next.
This one was sent along by Ashley.
Mm-hmm.
Let me make sure I have all this going here. And yep. So what was the photo you shared today?
This is from Oxford, England.
Ooh, the Oxford, England?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So this is a really fun story. Ed and I had a chance to go to Oxford and spend the day with our friend Dan Holloway.
Yeah, no, this is not Peter Jackson, in case you're wondering. This is Dan Holloway.
He does look like Peter Jackson. Yeah, that's Dan Holloway. He's the head of administration and finance in the Faculty of Linguistics, Philosophy, and Phonetics. So he was somebody some of you may remember, and some of you may not have heard of this until now, but when Ed and I went on our 2019 Europe tour, we decided to film a documentary along with it. And when we got there, we completely changed the face of the documentary because we got real bored making it about ourselves real quick. So we're like, why are we making a documentary about ourselves? Let's make a documentary about an actual topic that we're interested in, because it's just a little weird making, it's like writing your own bio. Like nobody can do that. So we were at our friend Sylvia Legat's house in Cologne, Germany, and she said to me as we were departing for a night on the town called Mundo Lingo, where a bunch of people get together and speak languages from around the world. And Sylvia said, well, Ashley, you should come with me. And I said, but I only speak one language. And she said, no, you don't. You speak the language of music. And I said, but is music really a language? And then Ed and Sylvia and I went into the deep conversation about is music actually a language. And
that's something I thought about a little while even before we had discussed it. I had thought about that a little bit.
Well, and apparently it's a pretty discussed topic among the music community. Like we talked to a few people who said they even took classes on or had to write papers on it or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was really the first time I had thought about it. But yeah, I could tell Ed had thought about it before, because as we're getting on this train in Berlin, I said, Ed, do you think music is a language? And he just launched into this very deep thing. And that's another story that I think I've actually already told. This is about Dan Holloway. So throughout our process, we decided we wanted to interview people along the way. And I said, well, we have like 4 or 5 days off. What if we find a university that'll let us come and talk to their linguistics department? So I started emailing universities, and of all universities that got back to me, Oxford University did. And this guy, Dan Holloway, said, yes, this is a super interesting topic. Come on in, and I'm going to introduce you to this person and this person and this person. So he got us 3 solid interviews with really interesting people at Oxford University. And we ended up spending a little bit of the day with him, and he walked us around. He pointed out the Jericho Tavern to us. He walked
the OBE, they're not the OBE, the Oxford Dictionary place.
Yeah, which was like, wasn't it guarded, like heavily guarded by
So that's what he said. I don't know.
Yeah, it was intense. And there was Alice in Wonderland stuff going on. I mean,
in the alleys.
Yeah, there was some kind of Alice in Wonderland theme going on in Oxford. I mean, I mean, it honestly feels like a dream thinking back on it, because I
got to go to Oxford.
It was really exciting. So Ed and I are wandering around with our gimbal, as you can see in Ed's hand there, and like our DJI Pocket Osmo and our phones, just completely nerding out and trying to act really cool. We're like, oh my God, we just got invited to Oxford. These indie musicians who decided to start filming a documentary got invited to Oxford University to film some of their super important faculty. We're like, oh my God, we're so excited. But no, we're cool, right? We're cool. But then he took us to this graveyard, which you can see behind Ed there, and a lot of famous people are buried there for whatever reason. And so we just decided that was a good place to snap a photo with Dan Holloway. So it was just a really exciting day. And
he was a super nice guy. He was a really cool dude.
He invented a game too. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, we've got that somewhere in our stuff.
I have
that card game.
I have it, and I know exactly where it is in my
good.
bookshelf, so don't worry.
I know we lost it for like a second.
Yeah, we did. In fact, I think we played it with him and filmed it for the documentary.
Yeah.
So, and we had, he just had really interesting things to say, and
Yeah.
he was very, very excited about the topic, which is exciting to us too.
Yeah, and he, lined up some really good interviews too, like some just really, like really thought-provoking stuff. I mean, we're talking to, professors at Oxford University. Like I never thought I would ever say that, but we, we got some really good insight
Yeah.
from that particular trip, and we got to see Oxford. Like I've never
Beautiful
I've been
campus.
to UK a few times. I've never been there, so
Yeah, I think I did go once, but I was maybe a little too young to appreciate it. But I just remember thinking how beautiful it was this time, especially after going through the campus experience at Arizona State University, going to Oxford. You're like, oh my God, this place is so cool. And everyone was just really nice. It was in just the deep history that is there. It was really cool.
yeah. We had a couple of friends who lived close by too that we hung out with, as well.
That's right. Yeah, we all went out to dinner afterwards.
Yeah.
It was super fun, and hopefully we should reach back out to Dan Holloway and tell him what's going on. I know a lot of you are probably wondering what happened to the documentary, and we've been on a long pause because we had some weird issues with it that honestly we just don't really care to talk about, but it's resolving itself, and we are going to be finishing that. It's going to look a little bit different. So I think it's a little bit early to announce exactly what we will be doing, but we will be doing something, and it's going to happen sooner rather than later.
Yep. But yeah, that was a really nice memory, because that was one of the highlights, I think, of that trip, especially because, he's in the linguistics department. For me, I really, really enjoy linguistics a lot. As I've gotten older, I've gained a bigger appreciation for it. So to actually go talk to people in the linguistics department about it, and about specifically whether music falls in that category, but also just kind of being in that department was really inspiring, because I really like linguistics a lot.
And I remember getting the email back from Dan and being super excited. We were actually in the Netherlands at the time, staying in our friend Ed's houseboat, and I was like, oh my God, somebody wrote us back. Like, we're actually going to go there. And we had a lot of those moments on this documentary, actually. But that one was particularly special, especially because I had just, oh my God, I had like put together an email, right, to send to a specific guy that I wanted to talk to. I think it might have been Dan, in fact, that I looked up on the web, and I was like, ooh, I want to interview this person. So I put the email together, and I'd love to talk to him. I think I said in the email, because maybe I was emailing the secretary or something, and the guy that I was talking about, it was male. So I copied that, and then I found a couple other women that I wanted to talk to, and I copied and pasted it, and I sent it back, and then the guy wrote me back and said, well, it's not just men in the linguistics department. There are really some wonderful women too. And I was like, oh my God, I was mortified. I wrote it back. I'm like, no, I'm not that person. I definitely know that there's women in the linguistics department. In fact, I prefer to talk to them, but I don't want to say that either. So I was like, oh, foot in mouth, take it out. And then Dan wrote me back. I'm like, oh, phew. Okay, well, at least this guy's got on board. He doesn't think I'm like a sexist female.
Oh man, that's worked out anyway. We wound up talking to a woman in that area anyway. I don't specifically think she was in the linguistics department.
Anita Mehta.
Yeah,
but
she's a visiting professor there, and she had some very interesting things to say about it. So
yeah, she was one of our favorite interviews of the documentary, and
so.
we really, some of the people we got to interview for that was really pretty mind-blowing and exciting. So we are excited to bring this to you guys at some point soon.
Yeah, so cool memory of Dan Holloway, super cool guy. Yeah, we'll definitely have to get back in touch with him at some point.
Yeah.
So next, we're gonna do just a little video here. Um, and I want to make sure this is all going here. But I decided to throw in another songs from a Subaru,
Cool.
just because we hadn't done one of those in a while, and I found the one from Edinburgh and Perth,
Oh,
our
nice.
fun little Scottish adventure.
Yeah.
So I was gonna go ahead.
That was a really fun day.
Yeah, that was super fun. Like I couldn't, I was really kind of surprised
At how much you liked Edinburgh in particular.
Yes,
Yeah. And what was the
yes.
name of the? Oh, it was Perth, right? Yeah, I was surprised at how much I like Perth too. I mean, we didn't spend very much time in either place, but we were like, wow, this is beautiful and really cool all at once. So yeah, I'm glad we got a lot of this footage. And we do, I believe. Sorry, no, we don't have a. Never mind.
Okay.
Just nothing. Pretend I didn't say anything.
So here's our songs from a Subaru video for Perth.
These are the adventures of an American indie folk band on tour in Europe.
We've partnered with Subaru Europe and are touring through 6 countries, playing 24 shows in 5 weeks.
Additionally, we're documenting footage from every city we perform in on our tour, plus an original song recorded right from our Subi.
Follow us as we drive through England, Scotland, Wales, Germany, France, Netherlands, and wherever else the road takes us.
This is Ashley, lead singer, songwriter, and acoustic guitar player.
Ed, lead singer, songwriter, and electric guitar player.
Stephanie, violinist, mandolin player, and singer.
Lisa, tour manager, band mom, merch sales, and chaos coordinator.
We are Witherwork.
And this is Songs from a Subaru.
My eyes start open, my breathing's heavy. It was one of those nights for me. I saw your face again, so close to mine again. It wasn't a dream, you see. And look at all the denizens of the world around us. Do you think they feel the same way too? Did they see what I saw in a magic floating castle, in a bungalow galaxy for 2? Maybe it came true in a parallel universe. Maybe it worked out after all. Maybe I got the girl. Maybe I saved the world in a parallel universe. The possibilities are endless. If you imagine hard enough, you can solve any problem if you try. It can all go right, or it can all go wrong, within the safety of your mind. These experiments, they are expensive. The costs are growing far too high. But if I spend enough, I could reach nirvana, or at least that castle in the sky. Maybe it came true in a parallel universe. Maybe it worked out
chest I hold. When I close my eyes and wake up, will I believe the story the dream told? It never
Maybe it came true.
Darkness, feeling gravity so deep in my soul, my flesh awakes. The same reality I see
Maybe
in
it
the absence
came
of light.
true.
Can it be real and not be fake? I can't shake that I would hate if I was wrong. But maybe my
Maybe
happy
it
is
came
an
true.
aberration, and the bird works out full of patience. In a parallel
With open eyes, I travel to the place where everything is right. And somehow I'm still wrong. And then I see him over on the hill, serenade the sky with 1,000 tearful songs. And then I hear him say, maybe I was wrong in a parallel universe. Maybe it worked out for you. Maybe you got the girl. Maybe you saved the world in a parallel universe. Maybe you got the girl. Maybe you saved the world in a parallel universe.
maybe it came true.
In a parallel universe.
Maybe it came true.
In a parallel universe.
Maybe it came true.
In a parallel universe.
Go.
Action. All right. So, the history of cheese as told by Witherword. At our last public show, before we went to the UK, we were coming back on stage for our second set, and there was some feedback from the mic, and Ashley started speaking, and I started speaking. Ashley said, "Hey everybody, we're back," and I said something about feedback, or vice versa. And we ended on the word back together, so Ashley decided to say, "Stephanie, say the first thing that comes to your mind on the count of 3. No questions asked, I just said, "Okay," and she immediately said 1, 2, 3, and we both said cheese. So much in sync that I didn't even know that she also said cheese until I saw her cracking up. And then when we discussed why we both said cheese, it turns out that she was watching Ed eat mac and cheese. And I had been thinking about this cheese that I had eaten like 2 days before. It had a wonderful Merlot stripe in it. And so, yeah, we couldn't stop laughing. Cheese!
Of cheese.
History of cheese.
Oh my God. There's a lot of laughter when Stephanie's involved.
Yeah.
We had we also started this thing where we were gonna get Stephanie sleeping on something random in every single video. So if you go back to
that's
the
right.
if you go back to the Songs from a Subaru 2018 videos, you'll see Stephanie asleep on a carousel, asleep on the graveyard stone there in Scotland. She was asleep on a balcony once in a video. I can't remember what else, but it just kind of became a funny thing for us. So it was a little Easter egg if you want to go find them.
Oh man. All right. Well, that will about do it for today. Well, shall we end with a tune?
Yeah, I know. How cool is that too? That we had an owl in that.
I know. It's been so long since I've seen any of those videos that I've completely forgotten what we put in them.
Me too.
So-
They're really fun to I love when you play the Songs from Subaru videos. I'm like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. And then the owl shows up. That
Right.
when Adam's watching. I thought that was like, oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, of course. Of course. I
course
told
it
you he
did.
attracts owls.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
It's really real. That's his real superhero power.
Yeah. Attracting owls. I believe it.
That's a good one. So normally I put in a song for us, but I didn't today because I forgot. So is there anything, Ed, that you want to play, or if our audience gets to it first, is there anything you guys want to hear right now? We'll kind of just throw it out there off the cuff.
I was thinking Sunshine and Rainbows, maybe.
All right.
'Cause I bet there's some around somewhere.
Some rainbows. I was thinking that. I keep looking out the window here to see if there's rainbows. There aren't rainbows. There's some more storms rolling in though, which is not great because Brad just went for his bike ride.
Oh no.
I know. And I told him to go at 3:00 because it would be safe. So it's my fault.
Womp.
Yeah. Stay safe out there, Brad. I like it. Let's end with Sunshine and Rainbows. Hopefully more sunshine, less storms, and more rainbows.
It's a great day for playing in the playground after school. The swing sets are swinging and the slides are pretty cool. But along in the distance, a boy sits with intent. He wonders what it feels like outside the chain link fence. A better world instead. I've got sunshine and rainbows in my head. It's a clockwork reaction. Whenever things went wrong, I would shun the world around me and build one of my own. You may say that I'm the dreamer, and Lord knows you'd be right. Pretty dreams and perfect scenes instead of sleep at night. A place with no regrets. I've got sunshine and rainbows in my head. Every year that passes by, I should be getting older, but it feels the same, still the same. And the dreams are getting bolder, getting harder to get over. This insanity I'm trapped inside. I'm trapped inside. Well, I could have the money, I could have the fame, I could have a palace shaped after my name. I could find the one to catch me when I fall. I can see their smiling face, I can see it all. They're better off out there. I'll take sunshine and rainbows instead. Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you, guys.
Good to see you today. Thanks to our special guest, Adam Smith.
Yes.
Check out his music. We'll put links in the show notes for that. Check out his Patreon, and check out his music on iTunes. Follow him on Facebook. Follow him on YouTube. Please, please, please support this awesome musician. Thanks to our sponsor, EV. You can find out more about Electro Voice at electrovoice.com. And last but not least, thanks to our patrons and our producer patrons, Alice Williams. We really appreciate your support in creating this podcast and creating all of the awesome bonus content. If you want to see more, go to patreon.com/crimesagainstfolk to check it out. And we'll...
We got a cool show next week. Ed's going to be talking about his top 5
Bass
bass
players.
players. So we're doing a extra special show on bass players. So if it's something, I suggest everybody tune in, because like bass players are kind of the unsung heroes of the band, and kind of the last instrument that anybody wants to pick up. But in fact, it's quite the skill. You've heard Ed play bass. He's incredible, and he has some favorites, and I do too. So I'll probably chime in a little bit myself, because I love the bass.
So tune in next week for that. And we will see you all next time.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Thanks so much. Take care. Stay safe out there, y'all.
Bye.